As we celebrate Nurses Week at McLaren Port Huron, I wanted to first thank you for the incredibly compassionate and excellent care that you provide to our patients and their families every day. We're reminded of the trust that our patients and families put in you, as well as the impact that you make in their lives. On a daily basis, we hear stories from them with phone calls and emails and Facebook posts, letters to the newspaper, all describing how you either made a wonderful experience even more memorable for them, or how you made a very difficult experience less scary for them. Today you will hear some stories from our nurses. From Calla, who's been a nurse for 3 years, to Kathy, who's been a nurse for over 42 years, and many more in between. Our stories are important because they connect us back to our purpose in nursing. And I hope today, after you hear some of these, that you stop and you think about yours. We acknowledge that nursing can be a very challenging profession, but we also acknowledge that you chose a profession that cares for people when they absolutely need us the most. And for that, you should be very proud.
I've wanted to be a nurse my entire life. My mom was a nurse. I remember being 5 years old, and that's all I wanted to do. And I stayed true to that path my entire life. I couldn't wait to go to nursing school. I went to a diploma program where we had a lot of hospital experience, and I was just so excited. My expectations were, just to learn everything I could and to be the best nurse that I could, and to learn all about what it meant to be a nurse, how to take care of patients. And I soon discovered that not only did I love nursing, I loved learning about diagnoses and how to develop care plans to care for patients. And in a natural flow with it, I learned to really enjoy just some of the physical aspects of being a nurse.
So I always wanted to be a nurse ever since I was a young child. My grandfather was sick, so in the summertime I would go there and take care of him, and he would call me his little nurse. So growing up my whole life, I just knew that one day I was going to be somebody else's nurse because he was no longer here for me to take care of. So being a nurse, you develop friendships that go a little bit further into like a family. You have to trust the person that you're working with. You have to know that they have your back, especially being in the emergency center. A lot of things are moving in and out fast, and you have traumas and codes, and you have to know that the person working across from you is already knowing what you're thinking without saying it, because there can be so many different things going on in the room. You just have to have the nonverbal communication and absolutely 100% agree that this person knows what you mean by the look you get.
When you become a nurse, you have your own family, but you create your family at work. And that was one of the things I think happened to me early in my career. I've worked for a long time. I've worked with a number of people in different departments, and I can't tell you how important your family at work is to help you just to get through the challenges of the day. We care for each other, we cover for each other, we make sacrifices for each other, but it helps us do the work that we need to do as a nurse and be able to go home and take care of our family. And that's just really important, because it's we have to make those sacrifices, those tough decisions sometimes, and without our team at work, we couldn't do that. We couldn't do what we do. My nursing education, I thought, prepared me for everything. I was a good student. I loved my nursing program. I really felt ready, and I went right into the hospital, and I felt pretty confident, and I thought I knew everything that I needed to know, and it soon became apparent, working midnights, working OB and pediatrics, that I still had a lot to learn. And when I look back over 42 years, I've learned something every day, every moment. I continue to learn, and I'm sure that as I continue my nursing career, I will continue to learn more.
Taking education from the classroom to the workplace has been a huge transition for me. Over the past 3 years, I went from nursing school Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. till 11:30 p.m. to going to work 7 to 7, 3 days a week, but not studying. And I was doing, and I didn't have a pencil, I had a keyboard. Applying school to work is a completely different aspect of nursing that I've ever experienced before in my life. I was going not expecting so much hands-on, and computers. Computers are a huge part of what we do. It has a big impact on our billing and our charting and everything that we do for the patient. We have to make sure that we document, or else you can't take credit for it, and you really do have to remember that. They drill that into your head in nursing school, and you absolutely have to continue doing it. Being a new nurse, you sacrifice a lot. You start off by sacrificing your life being a night shift nurse no matter where you work. You're gonna sacrifice your sleep schedule, your mind and body, and everything else that comes along with it. You're not gonna know whether you should be up drinking coffee or sleeping at night or eating breakfast, lunch, or dinner because it's 11 p.m. It's really a transition that you have to make on your own, and it'll eventually be a little bit more normal. You also have to sacrifice time spent with your family. It's a little bit easier because in nursing school, you know that they tell you have no life because when you're not studying, you should still be studying. But with work, you miss important things because, like with school, you don't miss weekends and you don't miss holidays. But as a nurse, you do. And you just have to know that when you're at work helping patients be together one last day on their holiday, that's what you're there for.
I remember a story where I took care of a little girl. Her name was Amy. She was only 5, and she was suffering from cystic fibrosis, and she was in the end stages, and we knew she didn't have much time, and she just wanted me to rock her, and so I did, and we rocked, and we talked, and she looked up at me and she said, "Kathy, don't leave me." And she couldn't say Kathy because she couldn't pronounce her TH, so she called me Kathy, and I said, "Amy, I'm not going to leave you." And we just rocked, and then she passed away in my arms, and I said a prayer for her, and I prayed with her family, and that's when I remembered that that's why I became a nurse.
Giving quiet support when there are no words to give. That's why I became a nurse.
Making sure my patients are safe and comfortable. That's why I became a nurse.
Providing life-saving care when time is critical. That's why I became a nurse.
Healing patients, families, and relationships. That's why I became a nurse.
Giving people hope while they're fighting for their life. That's why I became a nurse.
Giving the people I care for a reason to celebrate. That's why I became a nurse.
Delivering care to patients who need TLC. That's why I became a nurse.